3 runs scored. Carpenter back in the lineup again tonight in that leadoff spot. We'll have more from Toronto after this. Grab some buds. It's Chevy Truck Month. Visit your Mid-America Chevy dealers to take advantage of Truck Month offers on all new Chevy Silverado. And by Menards. Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. Good look at the Rogers Center in beautiful Toronto, Canada. Site for Game 1 of this 3-game weekend series. The Blue Jays, one of the best teams in all of baseball, hosting the Cardinals here tonight. And we'll take a look at the Cardinals lineup for Game 1. Matt Carpenter, who's red hot, will lead off and play third base. Oscar Taveras in the second spot here tonight. He'll be in right field. Matt Holliday, Alan Craig, Yadier Molina in the middle. John Jay at 295. Johnny Peralta has hit okay against Toronto in his career. 259 average, but he has the 9 home runs, and he leads the Cardinals with 9 home runs this year. Descalzo at second base, and Tony Cruz will catch Molina, the DH, here for Game 1. And they'll face a guy that has an awful lot of promise. He's not big, Al, but this guy's got an electric arm. We're talking about Marcus Stroman.
Yeah, he's only 5'9". He was selected 3 picks after Michael Wacha in the 2012 draft. Number 1 by the Blue Jays, the 22nd overall. He's out of Duke University. Was a middle infielder with Duke, but they like his pitching arm. 94 to 96. A really, really good tight curveball. He's got a slider, and they say everybody tried to project him to be, well, he should be a relief pitcher. He's not very big, but he's proven that he can stay here. And they liked what they saw in his first start. This is his second start after getting roughed up in some relief appearances.
John Gibbons likes him. He's the manager for the Blue Jays for the second time, and his team off to a red-hot start. And their defense also very good. We talk a lot about their offense. Their starting pitching also improved from a year ago, but the defense very, very good here in Toronto. They have plus arms in the outfield position. Dobbs will bring you the Blue Jays defense. That's Cabrera, Gose, and Batista in the outfield. All of them good arms. Reyes and Laurie up the middle. Francisco and Lind at the corners. And Deanna Navarro will catch Marcus Stroman.
The difference for some of the players is the artificial turf here.
And we'll see if that is a factor. There's a big fastball from Stroman that misses the outside corner, and you can tell the ball jumps out of his hand already. Carpenter at 306. Works a lot of deep counts, and you expect him to do that against a pitcher the Cardinals haven't seen much.
And especially when talking about a new pitcher out there, he's trying to get his feet wet. Make him work that count.
And Al, when I say see much, there really isn't much video on him even.
No.
Not much to study. Cardinals, of course, seen him for the first time live, but don't know much about this Duke product. 2-2 to Carpenter. It'll be Carpenter, Taveras, and Holiday in the Cardinals first.
And Ricky, that's kind of the interesting thing, is because old days players were lucky to see a little video, so they trusted their own eyes. Today's players would much rather look at video than to study someone live.
Payoff pitch. Misses high, and the Cardinals have a base runner, and that's how this game starts. Carpenter reaches with a walk, and our umpires here for game one. And we've been talking a lot about the umpiring of late. It's been pretty good. Seth Beckmeister is the umpire behind home plate. Fielding Culbreth, the crew chief, is at first. Manny Gonzalez at second, and Jim Reynolds, a veteran umpire, at third. And one of the things that Stroman was able to do in his start against the Royals was get Royals to chase. Carpenter not chasing in that at-bat, and neither is Taveras on the first pitch, high and away.
And we saw that Royals club very aggressive, and to a pitcher like this that's around the plate but off the plate, you know, they're swinging a lot of his pitches that are out of the strike zone, tougher to connect.
Taveras skies it into center field, and he just missed that. Got under it a bit, and Gose takes care of that fly ball, so one out, and Carpenter stays at first. A couple of celebrations to mention, Al. 25 years ago, this stadium opened. 25 years ago yesterday, they had their first game here. At the time, it was called the Sky Dome, and the Jays lost to the Brewers 5-3 that day. Jimmy Key with the losing pitcher, and he was here to throw out the first pitch here today.
His battery with Ernie Witt, and then Cito Gaston made an appearance. Cito, of course, was the manager here back then. Real gentleman, and did a terrific job.
Sure did.
I'll go back to the old exhibition stadium they had in the fairgrounds here in Toronto.
Down the right field line, it's slicing towards the corner. This ball is fair. Into the corner.
Bad break.
And a bad break for the Cardinals is right as it bounces out of play. So that'll be a ground rule double for Holiday, and the Cardinals have two runners aboard here against the rookie Stroman.
15th double for Matt Holiday on the season.
He takes what they give him, doesn't he?
Yeah, and you know, you could just see he's getting closer and closer. There you see the spin, the breaking ball. He's a low ball hitter. Really had his head on the eye on the point of contact, and then it goes off the turf, takes a right turn into the stands for the ground rule double, keeping Carpenter from scoring.
Infield back for the Blue Jays, conceding a run here if Craig can put it in play, and he does. Base hit to right field. Carpenter scores. Here comes Holiday. We're going to have a play at the plate, and he is out at the plate. Assist number 6 for Jose Bautista. We mentioned the strong arms of the Blue Jays. He cuts down Holiday, but the Cardinals take the lead.
Bautista, it's just amazing what a complete player he's become. He was in Pittsburgh, basically a journeyman infielder, and now he's become just a tremendous home run hitter, great hitter all the way, and can help himself defensively. This is where you can really use the turf. You get that bounce there, it's going to speed up the ball. The catcher's going to get a real true hop, and he tries to go around the tag, but it looks like he gets him in the back.
Mike Matheny was standing at home plate, giving the Cardinals video crew a chance to look at it on replay to see if that was worth the challenge, but decided not to, and heads back to the Cardinals dugout.
I was watching, and on the throw, Craig goes to second base. I was watching Carpenter after he scored. He was trying to help our home plate umpire and calling Matt Holiday safe, but to no avail.
Bautista has such a strong arm in right field. He was able to throw out both Billy Butler and Omar Infante on what would have been base hits to right. Back-to-back nights in the Royals series. You don't see that very often.
Well, Kind of reminds you of Joe Vonderhaar running to first base and Todd Worrell throwing him out from the outfield.
In our fantasy camp.
But of course that was Todd Worrell threw him out from left field.
That was just fantasy camp. This was reality. This was the big leagues, and he did it. Molina, chance for more. Big swing there. Fouls it straight back. Yachty's average dipped under 300 in that Kansas City series. He's getting a chance to DH here tonight. Still good numbers for Yachty. And that's how the Blue Jays will defend the Cardinal All-Star catcher. 1-0 St. Louis in the first.
Shame to right center. Lance Lynn. Always fun for a starter to have a lead when he takes the mound for the first time. Then it's up to Lance to keep it.
Hard hit up the middle, backhanded on to first. Laurie can play some defense. Stellar play. Cardinals still take the lead though, 1-0. First inning, 1 run on 2 hits, and it could have been more than that except for the good defense by the Blue Jays. Here's their lineup here for game 1. Jose Reyes, the former Met, will lead off and play shortstop, followed by Melky Cabrera, Jose Batista. A lot of players that we've seen in other uniforms, including Edwin Encarnacion, who's in that 5th spot, and he's having a big year. Francisco, Laurie, Navarro, and Gose will face the Cardinals man responsible for stopping them, and that is Lance Lynn. Lance Lynn, 27-year-old right-hander for the St. Louis Cardinals. Al, and there's his numbers.
6-3. The ERA still 3.5. First start against Toronto. Second appearance. He had a 3-inning stint in relief a couple years back. In interleague, 10 interleague career games, 7 starts. He's 2-3.
Your key in numbers for Lance Lynn, who pumps in a fastball. A lot of fastballs from Lance Lynn. And this will be a very, very interesting Blue Jays lineup to have to deal with. You've got speed at the top and the bottom of their lineup, and you got a lot of power in between. Cardinal fans certainly remember Jose Reyes from his National League days, and 11 stolen bases. You have to keep him off base.
And he's healthy again. When he's healthy, he's a very, very exciting player. A lot of leg issues, hamstring problems when he was with the Mets, and that's plagued him up here too.
We're told that he's lost a step with his range defensively, but not so much on the base pass. He still runs well. 3-1. Make it 3-2.
Lance throws about 2/3 of his pitches are fastballs.
And he misses with one there, and you don't want to walk Jose Reyes. Cardinals defense, like Toronto, second in the league as far as fielding percentage is concerned. And here's the Dobbs Cardinals defense. Holiday, Jay, and Taveras in the outfield. Taveras made a nice play in the final game in Kansas City. Descalzo getting a start today at second. He'll be up the middle with Peralta and Carpenter and Craig at the corners. Tony Cruz starting behind the plate here for game one. And as he often does, catching Lance Lynn.
The late flight got to the hotel room about 4 in the morning. So perfect time to give Yachty a day off. Then we have the day game Saturday and Sunday. I'm sure Molina will catch both those games.
Nice to be able to have his bat in the lineup, though.
Yeah, with the DH. And now and Craig may get it one of those turns at the DH.
Melky Cabrera having another good year with the bat, over 300, and one of those 5 Blue Jays with 10 or more home runs. He has 10 home runs, 33 RBIs, and hard hit left side past the diving Peralta in the left field, and 2 base runners for the Blue Jays.
You look at Cabrera, a little bit thinner. You know, he had a tumor removed from his back last year, and they say he's a little thinner, a little more athletic. And there you see a good pitch, elevated up, is on the corner, but being up, and a good piece of hitting. Something Batista's worked with him, going with the pitch.
Cabrera could flat out hit 25 out of 26 games to start the season with a hit. Reyes also gets aboard most games. 31 out of his first 33 games he reached safely. And again, good speed, especially at second base for Batista. And there's that big swing of Jose Batista, who has driven in 43 runs for the Jays. Cardinals have to play him deep in the outfield.
Much straight away, a little bit to pull. Remember Batista when he was with the Pirates?
Absolutely.
I mean, nothing special.
4th or 5th outfielder for them at the time.
Well, or even infielder. Played some third base, played a different place, the infield. Didn't think much of him at all. But the second year up here, he has become one of the biggest hitters in the game.
Big swing again from Batista. He doesn't get cheated, does he?
No. A couple years ago, he hit 53 home runs. 14 already this year. Very intelligent.
Very much up on the plate. Open stance for Batista. And this one's popped up behind home plate. Cruz makes the play right in front of the screen behind home plate. And a break for the Cardinals as Batista pops out. That almost popped out of his glove, too.
Concentration. You go back on this ball. You know the screen's there. You've got them all kinds of things worrying for you. But, Yadier Molina is the best catcher in the game. But really, in a lot of ways, you don't lose a lot when Tony Cruz is back there. And the pitchers would tell you, Yadi's the best, but we really feel like we are very comfortable when Tony Cruz is back behind the plate.
Adam Lind hits in the cleanup spot for Toronto, and they've got a lot of left-handed bats. Been very hot lately. 381 in his last 25 games, and on the season, nearly 350.
You know, they have 3 switch hitters in their lineup, so that really makes it difficult to pitch to.
And you add 3 left-handers on top of that.
Yeah, but it makes it difficult for a manager too when he's trying to utilize his bullpen with all those switch hitters.
Reyes, Cabrera, and Navarro all switch hitters for John Gibbons. He's got to be enjoying this year. Late swing.
Don't you feel this is kind of what they thought they were going to get last year?
Yes.
After making all the deals and the big trades with Miami and everything, but a lot of injuries really handicapped them. They had trouble pitching, and this year they kind of turned around. They weren't expecting some of the good pitching they've gotten. There, Burley, we'll see him, the St. Louisan, already 10 wins, and he'll be opposed by Shelby Miller tomorrow night.
The 1-2 jams him.
Hard to, could not imagine how Burley would not be on the All-Star team. Maybe the American League starter.
Could very well be.
And I'm sure there's some of his teammates will be there and they'll have a good representation. How about a Burley Wainwright matchup?
Looking forward to the All-Star game.
All right, here on Fox.
The 1-2 to Lynn. Misses. 2-2. Burley and Wainwright. Sounds good to me. Burley has led this Blue Jays staff. As a starting staff, they have 30 wins collectively. They didn't have their 30th win last year until August 15th. And that's the disappointment you're talking about from a year ago. Just missing the outside corner. A full count. And you may expect the Blue Jays to run here. You never know with an American League team, Al, how much they're going to run.
Right. I mean, it was a period of time they did not. They were station to station. But when you have Reyes out there, you got to think there's always a possibility. And that's what the Cardinals are thinking too.
Already 18 pitches for Lynn here in the first, and he just retired just one Blue Jay.
Get that ball down, get the sinker going, and get a ground ball double play.
You mentioned the high percentage of fastballs that Lynn throws. Just 10 out of 19 for strikes so far. Third in all of baseball in terms of percentages of fastballs from a starting pitching point of view. And he misses with another one outside, and he is asking for trouble here in the first. The base is now loaded for Edwin Encarnacion, and what a story he is. 19 home runs, 50 RBIs, second in the American League with those 50 RBIs.
Well, Encarnacion last month was just going crazy. 16 home runs in the month of May. He's hit 13 home runs in his last 19 ball games.
I hope somebody's told him it's June. Check swing. Did not go, says our first base umpire. Fielding Culbreth. As I mentioned, a lot of pitches already for Lance Lynn. Sometimes the power offense will do that to you, Al.
Yeah, well, I was thinking the same thing, Ricky. You hear about these home runs, you try and be too perfect, and now you're missing plate, and you keep on hitting in hitters' counts, or pitching into hitters' counts, falling behind everybody. Pitch your ball game. You know, Lance Lynn has only allowed 4 home runs on the year. So why worry about a home run hitting team? Just pitch your game.
Needs a ground ball here. 2-0 to Encarnacion. Popped him up left side. Peralta heading out to shallow left field. And he makes the play, and no one can advance. And the Cardinals have dodged another bullet here in the first inning.
Hitting with a real open stance, so you can see he's got that coming in on him, but look at that running action on that pitch coming in on him, and it got underneath and pops it up. Good pitch from Lance.
It brings in Juan Francisco. We've seen Francisco in the National League as well, and really when you look at this Blue Jays team, not many of them are homegrown. Adam Lind is, but beyond that, they're mostly free agents, trades, and Francisco having a big year.
I remember he was with Milwaukee and Atlanta last season. He hit his 10th home run in yesterday's ball game.
Just 1 for 8 against Lance Lynn. One of the few Blue Jays that has a lot of experience against Lance. Be something to get out of this inning. But again, falling behind.
And Lance not afraid to pitch inside, but he's pitching inside off the plate. And if they don't swing at it, it's ball. Nice OPS, 943.
The 2-0. Taken for a strike. That's a bad combination when you've got a team that's powerful and patient.
Right. And you kind of wonder what Francisco was looking for in that last pitch.
Thinking the same thing. Base is loaded. Bottom of the first. Lynn falls behind again. Now 3-1 to Juan Francisco. Already walked 2 here in the Jays first. The 3-1 popped him up towards left. In comes Holiday on the move, and he makes the play. Lance Lynn dodges a bullet here in the first. 1-0 St. Louis. Talked about 3 of them that worked out pretty well.
Well, you see he set up away, but the ball runs a little bit, and he pops it up in a nice play by Tony Cruz. Here's another fastball that runs in on Cabrera, pop-up, and then Francisco, another pop-up. Good indication the ball's moving well. And Tony Cruz getting over talk. It was a 28-pitch inning for Lance Lynn, so he's definitely warmed up.
I'll say. Top of the second. That brings in John Jay.
Eric Lilliquist, the Cardinals' outstanding pitching coach, is not with the club and won't be this weekend. He's got parenting duties. His daughter's graduating, so he'll rejoin the ball club in Tampa Bay.
Marcus Stroman, record of 2-0, ERA over 7, but most of that high ERA came with 2 back-to-back relief appearances when he first got called up, where he had really just bad nights, and he's been trying to recover from that, including that first start that he made against the Royals. Hard hit to left, but Cabrera makes the play. Big series for the Cardinals here. Al, what are our keys to the game, brought to you by Toyota?
Well, I think the first thing I want to see the team really grind out at bats, but then more importantly continue to do so. You saw last night they got a 2-run lead, after 4 innings, but only 2 hits the rest of the way. And Lance Lynn cannot walk people. Well, he did survive, but don't walk people and keep the ball in the ballpark. It's a big home running hitting team, the Blue Jays, but he's only allowed 4 home runs on the year, so don't give him too much credit. Just go out there and pitch your ball game. Get a feeling that he was making sure that he was missing in and off the plate, trying to respect the power, but pitching behind in the count is a lot more dangerous.
The 1-1, hard hit to right, and that'll be a base hit for Peralta. Soft liner, 1 hops Batista. The Cardinals have a base runner here in the second. That is their 3rd hit off of Stroman. I like seeing Peralta going the other way.
It helps, but you're right, he pulls off a lot of pitches, and if you use the whole entire field, there's a lot more hits out there.
Daniel Descalso has been the Cardinals' top pinch hitter. He's 4 for 14 in that category. He gets to start at second base today, and he takes strike 1 from Stroman. Stroman, by the way, played second base at Duke, so an athlete. Wasn't sure whether he was going to want to sign and play as an infielder or as a pitcher, and the Blue Jays, as you mentioned earlier, Al, made him their first-round pick, and they like him. Not a lot of professional experience. He's still just 23 years of age. The fastball coming in at about 94, 95 on average. Throws a cutter, curveball, and a changeup. But that curveball, we're told, is really his A-plus pitch.
Seems like today, scouts don't even look at somebody that's 5'9".
Right.
So somehow he really did impress them. And then he has to battle the thought process, oh, you're only 5'9", you got to be a reliever.
Broken bat hit to the left side, past the third baseman Francisco and into left field. A broken bat hit for Daniel Descalso, and that bat died a hero.
Maybe his turf hit here a little bit faster and allows this ball to get through the infield. See third baseman going over there, and now Cabrera is telling Reyes or Francisco, get back, cover third base. So
RBI opportunity for Tony Cruz. He has 4 on the season. Tony 0 for his last 6, but he's been good when he starts. There's a ground ball right side. Should be 2. Good slide at second base, and that keeps the Blue Jays from turning a double play. How about that hustle from Daniel Descalso? He made it impossible for Jose Reyes to get off a good throw. Maybe Ozzie Smith can make this throw, but not Jose Reyes.
Ozzie's elevator went a little higher than Reyes. But part of baseball, you get to know it looks like a sure double play. So he goes out, tries to take him out, and just by going aggressively, it allows Tony Cruz hustling all the way to get on the bag and avoid the double play. Runners at the corners.
One of the little things that Descalso does so well. So back to the top of the order, and Matt Carpenter, who walked and scored in that Cardinal first inning. And he scored for the 41st time this season.
Had the big 5-hit day, on base 6 times, the 5 hits and a walk, 2 RBIs in that ball game, and hopefully he can pick up another 2-out RBI here.
The 1-1. Carpenter with 21 RBIs on the season. Very much a part of that outstanding performance with runners in scoring position a year ago that really all the Cardinals exceeded at. The 1-2.
Carpenter had 78 RBIs, and the majority of those came from the leadoff spot. Very productive. His on base percentage just a little bit shy of 400.
Grounded foul. Notice the second baseman Laurie playing a very deep second base. He's a guy that's used to being a third baseman, and he didn't really want to play second base. They had to kind of force him to, and he kind of complained about it some, but he has really taken to it. We saw him make a nice play against Molina, and he has said he wants to play as deep as he can because he wants a lot of range to make big plays. That ball hit hard to center field, but it's going to carry right to Ghost. And the Cardinals are retired. They strand 2 here in the second. They lead 1-0. St. Louis. Rick Horton with Al Raboski. Jim Hayes with us as well. And Jim, you have some news on the Cardinals' second baseman, Colton Wong.
Yeah, that left shoulder is still an issue for Colton Wong. He told me today that he got an anti-inflammatory. He said the shoulder was feeling better. He said he got the feeling that Mike Matheny might want him to sit all 3 games here in Toronto to let it calm down. He re-aggravated that shoulder during his last at-bat last night, saying he had trouble finishing his swings. Did not take BP today. Mike Matheny saying to him, Colton is day-to-day. You might see him as a pinch runner tonight, guys.
Thanks, Jim. And there's a strike to Brett Laurie, who's leading off for Toronto. I also want to ask you about the Cardinals starter, Jim. Al talked about the early arrival, 4 a.m. for the Cardinals. That includes the starting pitcher who was with the team last night.
Yeah, that's a quick turnaround for anyone to get some sleep and to get ready for a ball game. Sometimes when it's going to be a late arrival, the starting pitchers fly out ahead of the team, but Lynn didn't do that. He didn't go ahead. He told me he's only done it a couple of times for a day game following a night game. Plus, he said he wanted no part of international travel. As for the Jays' power game, I asked him, how do you look at it? He says they hit a lot of mistakes. The key, don't make any mistakes.
Just like you, Jim. Don't make any mistakes. I like it. Thanks, Jim. Appreciate that. 2-1, the count to Laurie. There's a fastball that was by Laurie. Fouls it straight back. Again, he's one of those 10 home run guys for Toronto. Very solid player, Al.
He really is, and dazzle you with his defense, but then the home runs get a little attention. Wonder how much attention he'll get for the All-Star game.
Breaking ball in the dirt. Well, when a team is winning,
35 RBIs.
You start looking at all their players. Why are they winning? Maybe they should be all-stars. Reminder, that game will be on Fox. The 3-2 swing and a miss. He blew it by him, up and in. First strikeout for Lance Lynn. It's now time for you to tweet your photo using STL Fan Photo for a chance to have it shown in an upcoming game broadcast. This feature brought to you by AT&T. Good start for Lance here in the second inning, though another deep count for him, which means pitch count up. I'm sure he'd like to get a couple of quick outs here, but behind Diano Navarro, the catcher, is a switch hitter, solid big league player with a good bat.
35 pitches already for Lance Lynn.
You mentioned, Al, the AstroTurf earlier. We saw the Cardinals taking a lot of extra ground balls before batting practice. They took some of their batting practice time just to take ground balls, and wonder whether that will be a factor in this series.
When I was started in the National League, and we had all the artificial cookie cutter, dual purpose stadiums in the National League, and went to Kansas City, I was just absolutely amazed how freaked out American League clubs were playing on turf.
Ball gets on you a little quicker.
It's not quicker, but I mean, outfielders with fly balls, they're afraid to get too close to it and have it bounce over their head. They laid back on, just gave away base hits because they were afraid to get too close.
The 1-2 to Navarro. Swing and a miss. Back-to-back strikeouts. And Lance Lynn looking sharp here in the second. Tomorrow, it's a full day of MLB action, beginning with the Indians taking on the Rangers on Fox Sports 1. Then it's baseball night in America on Fox as the Yankees square off against the Royals. The MLB doubleheader begins tomorrow at 2 p.m. on Fox Sports 1 and continues at 6 p.m. on Fox. We are told, Al, about the AstroTurf that when there are day games, and the Cardinals will have a couple of those, you will see the ball bounce over outfielders' heads. So we hope the Cardinals pay attention to that. The difference in the AstroTurf during the day, and only 2 ballparks that still have AstroTurf.
Yeah, here and the next one, next stop,
Tampa Bay.
Tampa Bay.
And there are plans to replace the AstroTurf here either in 2017 or 18. And the reason they haven't done it is the Argonauts play football here, and they need to keep the field as is, as a multi-purpose venue, and the Argonauts are going to be moving at some point in the future, and at that point they'll look at putting grass in here. 1-2 the count to Anthony Gose. Really taken over in center field, and he's given this team a little life, Al. He's very quick. Colby Rasmus, as we've really not talked about him yet, he's on the disabled list, and he's not here. He has a hamstring issue. He's been the center fielder, but since Gose has been up here, the Blue Jays have been almost unbeatable.
The Blue Jays have won 5 in a row, 14 of 16, and are 24-7 in their last 31 games. It's pretty unbeatable.
Another full count. Hard hit to left. Holiday's going to have to move. No chance of getting that one. Over his head, and look, it goes run. He's going to try for 3, and he slides in safely. One of the most exciting plays in all of baseball, a triple, and he does it with 2 outs.
Well, not only do they have the power, but as you say, they got some speed with some guys that can pick them up and lay them down. Ball just thigh high, but to a left-handed hitter, they're low ball hitters. They like it. Holiday tracks it down, but the foot speed, no chance to get him at third.
Ball was smoked to left. No chance for Holiday. We've seen the ball really carrying both to left and to right field. Maybe not so much in center field, but watching in batting practice, hitter's ballpark here.
A lot of times, you know, if you hit them down the line, they just really go.
Jose Reyes, cutter inside, ball 1. Reyes walked to lead this game off for Toronto. 2 walks, 2 strikeouts for Lance. Trying to strand another Blue Jay. Stranded 3 in the first. Three and 0.
Lance missing, but not by much.
Reyes walks for the second time in 2 innings, and that'll bring out Tony Cruz to talk to his pitcher, Lance Lynn. Blaze Ilsley is the Cardinals bullpen coach. You mentioned Derek Lilliquist not here, so Blaze will be the pitching coach here for this series. And your other pitching coach is DHing today.
Yeah. So that's the umpiring if they could do that. They see Blaze. He's done a very nice job with the relievers, but with Derek and his daughter's graduation this weekend, he's going to miss this series. They live in Florida.
Dangerous situation here in a very tough part of the Blue Jays batting order. Melky Cabrera hits in the 2nd spot. He has 33 RBIs in that spot. And he takes strike 1. Cabrera came to the big leagues with the Yankees, also played with the Braves, Kansas City Royals, and was hitting .346 with the San Francisco Giants in 2012 when he was suspended and was left off the playoff roster. Blue Jays took a chance with him last year, and he's been a big part of their offense. And another good pitch from Lance Lynn.
Mentioned he had a tumor removed from his back, Cabrera, and they say he's much leaner, which has allowed him to run the bases more aggressively, and even had a start in center field.
Cabrera was an all-star in 2012. In fact, he was the most valuable player in the all-star game. He was played in Kansas City that year. And an RBI opportunity for him in the Blue Jays 2nd. Gose and Reyes the runners. Good speed. Swing and a miss. And Lance Lynn strikes out the side. He gets Laurie, Navarro, and then Cabrera. Fox Sports Midwest is brought to you by AT&T, mobilizing your world. By Schnucks, your neighborhood hometown grocer for 75 years. Find a helpful servicing steel dealer near you. Visit steeldealers.com. That looks like fun. Maybe you and me tomorrow, Al, will be out there on the harbor.
I may go to the aquarium, but I've got a ball game to come to.
Do it late in the afternoon. Plenty to do here in Toronto.
Let's go to the aquarium.
Sounds like a plan.
Right attached on the other side of the right field wall. Brand new this year.
Taveras, Holiday, and Craig in the Cardinals' third. Taveras to second, and there's the second baseman Laurie playing very deep, so no trouble making that play. And you wonder if he's playing normal depth, whether that's a base hit.
It's a base hit as far as I'm concerned. They're playing so deeply, he was able to go to his left. You can see how deep he is right there, but this would be right through the right side, and with where he's positioned, he's able to throw him out.
Playing deep again for Holiday, and he's playing him to pull in the infield. Marcus Stroman in his third inning of work. Outfield actually plays Holiday to hit the ball the other way. Which we see him do often.
Yes.
The 2-1. Watch out. That one gets Holiday, and it seemed to get a meaty part of the left arm of Matt Holiday. That pitch got away from Stroman, and he had no place to go, Al.
And Matt's getting hit quite a few times. No, he's big and strong. Dent that ball, but that's around the elbow. And 94 mile an hour right there. You see it spinning, kind of running in on him, and just above the elbow, and I'm sure that arm went numb. But he's tough.
Almost maybe just above the tricep, or maybe the triceps, but just thankful that that didn't hit him more on the tip of the elbow.
Right.
He is one strong man. One out for Alan Craig.
7th time he's been hit by a pitch this year.
Base hit to right for Alan Craig. 2nd time he's done that. And Holiday advances to second. The Cardinals showing some more life here in the 3rd inning, and they've really been swinging the bat well so far.
See the welt color. Nice bruise. I don't think Reyes or Laurie are disappointed that they weren't at the bag after you get hit there.
Right.
He might put him out there on the left field wall.
You can tell Matt is trying to think about something else as he's leading off of second base, but that wound's still pretty fresh. Molina bounced out to end the 1st inning. Cardinals hoping to extend the lead as he fouls that one back. Now we mentioned 25-year celebration for this ballpark, the 7th oldest stadium in all of baseball. We were just at the K in Kansas City, the 6th oldest, and we're headed to the 8th oldest, which is Tropicana in Tampa Bay.
Well, that's hard to believe.
I agree. Molina strikes out. And that's the first strikeout for Stroman. MLB.TV Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service, is celebrating 12 years. Join the millions of subscribers and watch every out-of-market game live online or in true HD on over 400 mobile and connected devices. Visit Cardinals.com for details. So it'll be up to John Jay if the Cardinals will score here in the 3rd inning after the Molina strikeout. Jay has been really good, Al, in the 7th inning or later. And he has provided some big hits, especially lately. He's hitting over 360. But his opportunity here coming in the 3rd.
He's been knocked down a couple times, but he won't stay down, will he? Just keeps on getting back up, keeps on getting base hits, and getting more and more playing time.
It's the conversation we were having about a week ago about player wanting to know about his role. The role is when you hit, you play.
Yeah.
And when you pitch, you play. John Jay's been hitting. Bounces that one foul.
One of the things you mentioned, it's over 360 in the 7th inning and later, but John Jay, 12 of his 18 RBIs have come with 2 outs. And if you go back to last September 15th, he's got a batting average of 317 at the big league level.
Again, all outfielders with good arms. Ground ball right side. Laurie has to charge it hard. He was playing that deep second base, but he throws out John Jay. Holiday hit by a pitch, got a bruise, and he's stranded. Here in the 3rd inning, the Cardinals lead 1-0. And we are going to revisit yesterday's draft choices. Cardinals, Al, taking 4 pitchers in their first 4 picks, and a lot of pitchers going in that first round.
Well, they said it was a pitcher-dominated draft. Not that many position players are out there, so you can see how many pitchers are on that board, and a catcher, outfielder. Cardinals, by the way, have selected 7 pitchers, 3 infielders, an outfielder, and a catcher after 2 days. That's 10 college and 2 high school players overall.
One and one on Batista. And their first round pick, Al, Luke Weaver. Not a big guy, but they like his arm.
Right-handed pitcher.
Florida State.
Florida State, 170 pounds, 6'2". Right, they feel he's one of those guys would be an accelerated rate like Waka and Marco Gonzalez last year's. Number 1.
Gonzalez now in Double-A, pitching for Springfield. That ball's hit deep to left. Holiday goes back, and he can't go back far enough. Home run, Jose Bautista, his 15th of the season, and he's tied this game at 1.
Bautista has become some kind of power hitter since arriving here in Toronto.
He's got a lot of routines, it looks like, with his teammates.
Oh, yeah.
Thinks he's Adam Wainwright. Well, when you hit a lot of home runs, you have time to develop routines. And you love him, Al, I can tell.
Oh, yeah.
I can see the steam coming out of your ears.
Miring it slightly and takes off, goes around the bases, but kind of reminds me a little bit of Kevin Mitchell. Kevin Mitchell hit over 50 home runs, where he would get on top of the plate, defy a pitcher to pitch him inside.
Right. I remember, yeah,
and he
exactly.
would say, you know, if you get inside, you're going to get me out. But I think you'll leave enough pitches over the middle half of the plate that I'll get you.
I always thought that was a scary thing, going back even further, about pitching to Don Baylor, who was always right on the plate. Well, that one not in enough. But Baylor would get hit by a lot of pitches, but he wouldn't care.
Set the record, broke Ron Hunt's record of being hit by pitches. Don Baylor. I have not only hit Don Baylor, but I've been hit by Don Baylor.
That's not good. That strikeout was Lynn's 4th. As he painted the outside corner on Adam Lynn.
Very good pitch right there. Fourth strikeout.
Encarnacion popped out his first plate appearance, and he was not in the lineup yesterday. He had back tightness, and the Blue Jays weren't sure whether he'd be playing here tonight, but he's in that lineup with his 19 home runs and 50 RBI. So very, very dangerous. He looks a lot bigger and stronger than when we saw him in Cincinnati.
Yes. I thought the same thing about Francisco too. Have bulked up.
The 1-1. Broken bat over the head of Peralta into left field. And another base runner for the Blue Jays.
Pitch up, not far enough in.
Juan Francisco flew out to left to end the first inning, and he waves at that delivery from Lynn at 87, and another good off-speed pitch from him. You know, Lance has not been using the changeup as much as I think he did a year or so ago, only 4% of the time this year, but that can be a good pitch for him.
No doubt. Keep you off your fastball with the changeup.
A little late on that fastball, following the changeup. Pitch at 93. 65 pitches already for Lance.
126 pitches, a career high in his shutout of the Yankees. And
almost handled by Matt Carpenter.
had a little window there as he reached through and almost came up with that ball.
That deserves a shot. Look at that. Happy fan. 0-2 the count on Juan Francisco. Encarnacion the runner at first. He has 2 stolen bases in 2 attempts. Short lead for him. Swing and a miss. Another strikeout for Lance. That is number 5. Or maybe challenging them out a little bit more.
If you get the ball to run like that, started out outer half of the plate and then have it run off the plate. First time through, a lot of times they were taking that pitch.
Laurie, one of those strikeout victims. He hits with 2 outs. And that one just misses the inside corner, 1-0.
Well, they just say his glove takes the team to another level. He's got great feet, great quickness, and he's got the arm strength that he can play back so deeply and still throw out somebody at first base.
Molina's ground ball in the first inning, very close to being a hit up the middle. Would have been an extra Cardinal run there. We saw the defensive play for the right fielder Batista throwing out Holiday at the plate. That saved a run. So the Blue Jays a plus defensive ball club. And Laurie a part of that. Breaking pitch. Ball 2. Blue Jays have not been in the playoffs since 1993. World Series champions in both 92 and 93. They've got a good ball club, however, this year.
Which year did Joe Carter hit the home run off of Mitch Williams?
Not sure which of those 2 years it was, but that's one of the most
93.
dramatic home runs in postseason history.
Joe Carter, Wichita State.
He's part of their level of excellence, and you saw his name up on the stadium facade here. There's the World Series championship banners. Joe Carter's name up along with some other Blue Jays that we might remember. There's the level of excellence. And Joe Carter. The 2-2. That ball hit hard to left. Holiday started in, then backs up and makes the play over his shoulder. Nice play by Holiday. He may have saved a run right there. But the Blue Jays do pick up a run here on one swing of the bat. pick for the Cardinals, Luke Weaver, 6'2", 170. Al, as you mentioned, right-handed pitcher from Florida State, and hoping that his professional career will begin quickly. These players have to be signed and then go to work, and that, Al, is Geddy Lee, a big Cardinal fan. And here at the ballpark tonight.
And
ground ball left side. Francisco ranges to his left and throws out Peralta.
I think Rip Rowan, our outstanding equipment manager, who learned from one of the best, Buddy Bates. But I think Rip's a little happy that Geddy is here so he could reclaim his baseball. He's got a baseball that Geddy owns it, but he gave it to Rip to get Jeter's signature. It's got all, I can't remember how many, 3,000 hit members on there. But there's like Tris Speaker, there's I'm trying to think of Honus Wagner, I think, is on there. I mean, it's worth hundreds of thousands of dollars, and Rip was carrying it around.
That's one you want to get rid of. Lead singer for Rush, Geddy Lee, here at the ballpark.
How about the gentleman that did the national anthems, both in our United States anthem and the Canadian anthem? Showed a video of him as a lead singer of a rock band that opened up the Dome 25 years ago, and looks like he's joined the human race.
He cut his hair, is what you're saying.
He looked very distinguished.
He did. Descalzo strikes out, so 2 quick outs for Stroman here in the top of the 4th inning, and that brings in the catcher Tony Cruz. And we should also mention today, Al, I said it was a special day here celebrating this ballpark, but of course, for any student of history, June 6th is a date that has great meaning. And it was the day of the Allied invasion in Normandy, Operation Overlord, and the United States, Canada, both part of the Allied forces that landed in France on June 6th, 1944, and commemorating that day today in Normandy. I know you and I both watched a lot of that footage today of the, you don't want to say celebration, but commemoration of that very, very special day. Late swing there for Tony Cruz. 0-2. 2 outs in the Cardinals' 4th.
I got a letter that was sent to me from a gentleman who spent 42 years in the Canadian Armed Forces Reserve, retiring as a sergeant major of the 48th Highlanders of Canada, and he was inviting me to a museum to see, commemorate with Canada's involvement in World War II.
Cruz strikes out. 2 strikeouts in the inning for Stroman, turning into a pitcher's duel here. 1-1, fourth inning. Cardinals and the Blue Jays. And we are excited about the Jack Buck bobblehead collection day. 25,000 fans entering with a ticket will receive a Jack Buck bobblehead with a voice chip. And that is presented by First National Bank. If you want information on that June 15th game, you can purchase tickets at cardinals.com/promotions. Lance Lynn with 73 pitches through 3 innings. He could use a couple of quick innings here, couldn't he?
He sure could.
Hard to get quick innings with this team. I'm impressed with their patience and their power. But just 1-1 as Lynn has been able to work out of some jams, and he misses with the breaking ball low. Navarro struck out his first plate appearance. Ground ball right side. This will help. Alan Craig takes it himself for out number 1. Plenty to do here in Toronto, Al. You've already talked about the museums and the aquarium, and we're very close to Lake Ontario here and within walking distance of our hotel here to be at the ballpark, Rogers Center. Not very far from the harbor, and it's just really a nice city.
Oh, I remember the first time I came to Toronto and had an off day, went to Niagara Falls. That's not a too long a trip.
I understand you can actually see Niagara Falls from the CN Tower here, which is adjacent to the stadium. And Buck Martinez, who does work here on the TV side with the Blue Jays, used to manage the club, was talking to Adam Wainwright about just how high that is and how scary that is, and Waino said, "I'm not going." And I don't blame him.
I know it's over 1,800 feet, right?
Exactly.
1,815, I think, my memory serves me.
Your memory is like a steel trap.
Except when it comes to the important things.
It's Friday. I'll just let you know.
I have to test my eyesight to see if you can see Niagara Falls. About an hour and a half drive.
No, that's what they say. Two 2-0 the count to Anthony Gose. He lined a triple over Holiday's head. He hit that ball right on the nose. Really provided some life for this team. They have an outfielder on their bench, Kevin Pillar, who's 25 years of age, and both these guys kind of came up and really kind of provided some spark. Eric Kratz and Josh Tolley are their backup catchers, and I say catchers because they're going with 3. Hard hit, booted by Descalzo. That's going to be an error. And Gose is aboard.
It's the first error of the year for Daniel Descalzo, and looked like he was getting down the field. It was hard hit, but what does it hit? Does it go off his knee or something to shoot it that far away from his body? Get a better look right here. Yeah, it went off the knee.
And you just wonder if Descalzo is normally pretty sure-handed, just maybe over-adjusted or overthought about the AstroTurf here. Maybe the ball scooted on him a little bit.
But get you a little quicker to you, and then, like you said, it might have hit that one hop and spun.
Fly ball to center, going back first, and now coming in and letting it drop is John Jay. He just misread that ball.
Well, he misread it, but that's also what AstroTurf does to you. You saw where he started to go back, he comes in on the ball, and then he fears it bouncing over his head, so he lays back on it and guaranteeing a base hit. So too rough, and should be 2 outs, and Lance Lynn doesn't get either one of them, so he's got to put that aside and not let this hurt him and the ball club.
You could tell John thought that was going to bounce over his head.
Yep.
He just misread it off the bat, too.
Those were the plays that I talked about when I saw American League clubs that just feared the turf in Kansas City.
Cardinals, by the way, had 11 straight road games without making an error. And then Descalzo made that error, and then John Jay misplays the ball in center. So 2 runners aboard, and Lance Lynn again at that tough spot in the order for the Blue Jays.
Well, Lance is a good competitor, but this is where he really has to show his teammates, hey, I know you're trying, but I can take care of it. I'll get you through this inning, and we'll keep it a 1-1 game.
The 1-0. Nice pitch on the inside corner, perfectly placed by Lance Lynn. Lynn, an all-star in 2012. He was 18-7 that year, 15-10 a year ago. Has found ways to win games.
And the last 2 years at the All-Star break, he had 11 wins.
Very well chronicled that he has been a guy that's gotten a lot of run support as a starter.
And this year he hasn't had that much. Actually, he's not even the leader on the Cardinals. Adam Wainwright's gotten the most run support, but you know Adam, the way he's pitched, doesn't need it.
Jam shot right to Peralta, who goes to flip it and drops the baseball. Did he catch it or didn't he?
I was watching second base umpire, and he never made a call, period.
He did not. One of those transfer plays, and we had one yesterday with Oscar Taveras. He catches it, and then he goes to flip it and drops it. Good rule to catch.
But I mean, you never really saw the umpires officially make a ruling. Manny Gonzalez right there.
Certainly was not emphatic.
And of course, maybe early in the season that might not have been a catch, but it always was before, and it is again now.
Exactly. Don't you find that odd that we're playing in a season that has had 2 different rule interpretations on something as important as that? Batista at the plate. Key situation perhaps in this game happening right here in the 4th inning.
If I understood my conversation with John Sherholtz, who was the chairman of that committee, he said that was never their intention to change that rule. It just, when people started interpreting what they were talking about, they put that interpretation in there, and you know, he was relieved that they corrected it.
It kind of came along with instant replay because in the challenge system, because you were really scrutinizing at a high level what was going on with the transfer of the ball from glove to hand, and really that's what the rule said verbatim, but it had never really been interpreted that way. The 2-0. 3-0.
It's like you wish some of the umpires would read the rules on the strike zone, because they don't interpret it the way it's written.
Lance Lynn wants it as big as possible right now. From shoe top to neck. Bases loaded again. Lance Lynn should be out of this inning. And Jose Batista walks for the 49th time. He leads the majors. And he has reached base safely now in 60 of 62 games. It's a tough lineup. There's Blaze Ilsley, the acting Cardinal pitching coach today. And Mike Matheny trying to figure out how to use the local phone system.
Go to the phone booth and dial the operator.
What's a phone booth, Al?
I guess that is something youngsters don't know about.
I've heard of those.
And they're scrambling. Fire drill.
There's no pole to slide down. You walk down steps, but it does kind of have that feeling. Jamie Pogue, bullpen catcher. And that looks like Seth Maness. Maybe Randy Choate is the acting bullpen coach. He's the experienced guy down there. He knows what to say. Adam Lind, bases loaded, in the dirt, blocked by Cruz. Was it blocked by Cruz, or did the ball just hit Cruz? In a lot of places.
Not a very good first pitch. The bases loaded.
He got out of a bases loaded situation in the first inning, did Lance Lynn. Another one here in the fourth. Swing and a foul back.
They strand 3 more. They would strand 9 base runners through 4 innings. As Lance Lynn he's had 90 pitches.
Hard to imagine him going more than 5.
True. At this rate, it would be about 5, with setting a new career high in pitches thrown. Have to be over 126, but that's not that far off.
As long as he's putting those zeros up, it won't hurt quite so much. Outside, 2-1. Velocity's there for Lance Lynn at the normal levels here tonight. The command, however, off a bit. Adam Lind has walked and struck out. No place to put him. The 2-1. Fouled down the left field line, and a souvenir. This would be some work, Al, if Lance Lynn can get through this inning and it still be a 1-1 game.
Definitely had picked up a couple of his teammates this inning. It would be a very frustrating start to this game for the Blue Jays. They were to strand 9 runners. Cardinals, kept on seeing them the other day. They stranded 12, but they got the win in 12 innings.
The 2-2 from Lynn. Ground ball right side. Descalzo has this one and throws him out. Nice job by Lance Lynn picking up his teammates. Wasn't Look forward to the post-game show, and so far we've got a very good baseball game going on here in Canada.
Well, let's see if Lance Lynn's heroics getting out of that innings, keeping this a 1-1 game, won't inspire the offense to get him some more runs.
It often works that way, doesn't it?
Sure does.
Fly ball to left. Out number 1. Mentioned the Blue Jays have not been in the playoffs since 1993, Al, and we just came from
1985.
Kansas City. You bet. Seattle Mariners third on that list. The Marlins, it's been 10 years. And the Houston Astros, a much improved team this year. It's been 8 years since they've had a playoff team.
Houston, who most people would say would be the worst team at the major league level. You know, they're making some strides. They're getting a lot of prospects down, but they're 26-35. Tampa Bay, hard to believe. People would think they're always in contention now. Are 23-38.
Tampa Bay has the lowest winning percentage, and they've lost 10 straight. The Cardinals will see them, and that kind of scares me a little bit.
Yeah, because streaks follow streaks.
Yeah, and you know they're good.
And Philadelphia 24-34. Chicago 23-34. They're just a half game behind the Philadelphia Phillies.
Oscar Taveras bounces it to the right side, and the shallow right fielder Laurie throws him out.
New position, isn't it?
Kind of interesting to watch him playing second base, especially when a guy that not necessarily a power hitter up. There is really not much. There is no way to get a bloop single to right. Seems like he's so close to Batista.
Well, they say he's got the good hands, got the quick feet, he's got a very strong arm, so he can take a lot of hits away.
We've also seen that he's smart enough to have figured out that any ball hit on that side, he has to charge hard.
I'm just watching the umpires backing up because he was in front of Laurie and, you know, kind of blocking his view of second base. So the second base umpire took another 10 steps back.
Holiday. Fastball high.
And of course, on turf, you know, your shortstop and middle infielders traditionally will back up and play really at the edge of the grass, which you would have on a normal grass field with a skin infield.
How about a 2-out big fly? Is that okay with you, Al?
I'm tired of seeing Holiday with just 3 home runs, so yes, sir.
What do you think about Matt Holliday swinging 3-0?
I think you pick your pitch. If you get a pitch you could drive, and obviously that wasn't a pitch that you would look for, and it seemed like it was a bit wide. But you look for a pitch, and if it's there, you know, you take it. You know, I mean, you go and swing on it if it's the one you're looking for. But if it's not, even if it's a strike, you take it.
Takes that pitch off the plate. Holiday aboard for the 3rd time. A double, a hit by pitch, and a walk. Saturday, June 14th. Pick up a Cardinals blanket for you or your furry friend. Compliments of Nestle Purina. They're available to 25,000 pet lovers ages 16 and older. Get yours by purchasing tickets at cardinals.com/promotions. Rick Horton, Al Raboski, Jim Hayes with you from Toronto, Canada. And McLaughlin has this series off. He'll rejoin us in Tampa Bay. And there's the welt, bruise, whatever you want to call it, on the left arm of Matt Holliday. The quite sizable left arm.
Yes.
Of Matt Holliday. And he got a break. There he goes. He's trying to steal second. And he is successful. number 2 on the season, and he stole that one on the pitcher Stroman, who really wasn't paying much attention to him.
Well, it's also a situation you should try and steal as much as you can off the catcher too. Navarro is not known for his throws. This one way off line, but Matt had it easily.
Kind of a walking lead, and he just didn't make him stop.
Navarro has thrown out 3 of 29. So anytime the Cardinals get on, you're stealing off the pitcher, but this combination you should be successful just about every time.
We throw out a lot of numbers in baseball, Al, but that's one number that really matters, what you just said. 3 out of 29, you got to test them. So in scoring position is Holiday. Again, good outfield arms for Toronto, and there's a call, third strike on the outside corner. There's that nasty breaking ball from Marcus Stroman, who strikes out his 4th hard late break right on the corner. 1-1, middle of the 5th. In Toronto, 1-1, all-star bound. Maybe there's some people that you might not normally think of, Al, that may have a chance to play in the Midsummer Classic. And how about Juan Francisco, who's putting together a pretty solid season for the Blue Jays?
10 home runs, 26 RBIs. He could be a candidate.
All-star game will be on Fox.
Yeah, Ricky,
Mike Matheny doing a lot of thinking about that all-star game right now.
Absolutely. But when I saw the most recent selections, I think the fans are doing a great job.
I agree.
You know, I think they're, and if you made the players, you know, the fans would disagree with some of their picks. Managers, coaches would disagree, but it's the fans' game right here on Fox, and so I think they're doing an outstanding job of picking who they want to see. And they're getting the best guys with the best years.
And one exception would be, in terms of best guys with the best years, would be Derek Jeter. But I'm okay with that. I don't know how you feel about that.
Absolutely. And if he doesn't win the fan vote, that's where I say the commissioner should have a, you know, an aging superstar, a guy that lasts hurrah. You know, just if he's out there just to don his cap to the crowd. You know, that by all means they should make those exceptions. But I think he means so much to the fans that they're going to vote him in.
Be my vote.
Hard to deny Tulowitzki what he's doing.
He'd be my other vote on the National League side. There's a ground ball to short. Encarnacion is thrown out, and that brings in Juan Francisco, who we were just talking about. 10 home runs, I think, Al, is what's really kind of got our attention. 26 RBIs, and he is really finding a home here in Toronto.
And then you got the debate and say, well, those aren't worthy. But as long as you're talking about it, promoting the All-Star game July 15th on Big Fox, I think it's good for baseball.
I think we may see some new names there at the All-Star game. I mentioned Lance Lynn was an All-Star a couple years ago, really out of the blue. And I think you always have to have a changing of the guard in terms of the star players. You think about some guys that, like Arenado for Colorado. Not every American League
Blackman
fan knows who he is. Blackman, another one, having a big year in the outfield for Colorado. The All-Star game was held here at the Rogers Center. At the time, it was the Sky Dome in 1991. And the MVP that year, a guy you might remember, his name is Cal Ripken Jr. Francisco 0 for 2. Big swing there, and he fouls it back. There's the banner of that 91 All-Star game.
I was here for that one.
You made that,
not
made
as
that
a
team?
player. I'd already been retired 32 years, but I was here part of the Fan Fest, which is such another great aspect to the All-Star festivities.
I love it when you do math. Big swing at a fastball up and away, and another strikeout, and 2 outs for the Blue Jays here in the 5th. You can join Andy Bennis, John Hewlett, and Fred Bird tomorrow and every Saturday on Cardinals Kids, brought to you by SSM Cardinal Glennon Children's Medical Center. Tomorrow at 11 a.m. before pregame show on Fox Sports Midwest. Professor U-Man.
You know what I dislike about the All-Star game?
What?
Well, it's not the game, but that the home run derby has gotten so much attention, which I think the attention should be all, or the majority of it, placed on the game and the players, and not a home run hitting contest.
Well, I've long been an advocate of having a changeup down and away contest as well.
I think so.
The day before, I think that would be really thrilling. You could pack the place. You think about the interviews that you could have, and just see what percentage of changeups you can throw on that outside corner. I mean, can you see it, Al?
Oh, I can see it. Slow rolling.
That's pitchers talking right there. Well, for a long time, the American League was called the Home Run Derby League. Baseball and interleague play and current state of things, there's rarely been kind of a coming together. Umpires and I think even style of play a little bit. DH certainly still a difference between the two leagues. Hard hit to center field, and this is trouble, and this is gone. Brett Lawrie has given Toronto the lead. A rocket to center field, home run number 11 for him. And that ball got out of here in a hurry.
What I've seen from Lawrie, I think he's a better representative than Francisco. But he's got one more home run, and he's got 4 RBIs, plays great defense. And boy, this is just a rocket off his bat, that just line drive that carries out into right center.
Perfect how we stopped that too, Al. You could see that he really centered that on the head of the bat. He's got his own little home run antics.
He got 89 on the years. I guess they've had plenty of practice. Lead the major leagues in home runs.
89 home runs for the Blue Jays. 89. 32 for the Cardinals.
32. 26 for the Royals.
The Jays have homered in 17 out of their last 19 games. The good news is they're both solo shots.
bunch of guys in the Hall of Fame gave up a lot of home runs, but the majority of them were solos.
Guy I think of with that, and I remember even as a kid remembering, wow, this guy gives up a lot of home runs. Ferguson Jenkins.
Yeah. Think of Robin Roberts.
Yep. Another one. Yep.
And you look at Gibson, some of the home runs he gave up. Or the 8th place hitter just said, here, hit the ball.
Little tapper to the right side. And the inning is over, but Brett Lawrie with a rocket to right center field. High fives all the way around. Sometimes high tens. Of the 1964 World Championship. 25,000 fans 16 and older will receive a replica jersey on Friday, June 20th. Just like the one World Series MVP Bob Gibson wore as he pitched during the championship game. Get your tickets for the June 20th Cardinals Phillies game at cardinals.com/promotions. Cardinals will try to get that run back. Solo home run. Brett Lawrie in the bottom of the 5th inning has given Toronto the lead. Jose Bautista homered in the 3rd. Cardinals got their run in the 1st inning, and Molina, who bounced out to end that inning, almost had an RBI to make it 2-0 at the time.
Ton of base runners for both sides. So there's only been one half inning that was clean, a 1-2-3 half inning.
What do you think of Marcus Stroman?
Well, he's gotten better as we've gone along. Had a little shaky first inning when the Cardinals scored the run. And he's starting to pile up strikeouts. There's 5 now.
John Jay is 0 for 2. And I think you're right. I think Stroman's getting better. Flare in the left center field. This should be a hit, and it is, and almost bounces over the head of Cabrera. Exactly what you were talking about earlier, Al, with the AstroTurf here, but Cabrera plays it well and holds John Jay to a 1-out single.
Just the first hit since the 3rd inning, and here you see that ball bounces and then starts to go over his head. Not that tall, Cabrera.
We also saw Ghost backing up that play, even though that ball was hitting left field. You know you have to be alert for that. You're going to play center field in this ballpark. You have to know that it's important to back up your corner outfielders. Always good to have a fast center fielder anyway.
Oh, absolutely. You know, you just hope the young man does that, but then continues to do it throughout his career.
Matt Holliday ran in the 5th inning. Will John Jay do it here? 2 for 3 and stolen bases for John.
All about getting a good jump.
And the ball gets away from the catcher Navarro, and he won't have to steal. That'll be a wild pitch, but probably could have done a little more to block that ball. Seemed like it just scooted right underneath it. Take one more look at it.
Take a look at it, and just tries to stab at it, and it gets by, and really hustles right after it. That was our slow-mo cam, wasn't it?
Can't that be a wild pitch with an asterisk? RBI opportunity for Peralta. He broke an 0 for 10 with his base hit in the 2nd inning, and he also bounced out to 3rd. That was in the 4th. There's the runner, Jay. Laurie holding him close. There's that nasty slider. That was a knee buckler for Peralta.
The breaking ball there, the spin. Late break on it.
Cardinals need a hit. And they don't get it there. Peralta strikes out. And that's 6 for Stroman. Bringing in Daniel Descalzo. What's on tap? The Cardinals and the Blue Jays going at it tomorrow at 11:30 on Fox Sports Midwest. Shelby Miller, Mark Burley, 10-1. Brought to you by Budweiser.
Descalzo has one of the Cardinal hits tonight. Got that back in the 2nd inning. Last 12 batters, Stroman has struck out 6 of the 12, allowed just 1 walk and 1 base hit.
First pitch to Daniel is fouled back. I will say this, Al, at the risk of sounding like we're being overly positive. Manus continues to get loose. The last 3 games, I think, have been terrific ball games. Very close games. Cardinals won 1 in extra innings, and they lost 3-2 to the Royals last night. But close, interesting games throughout. Maybe a sign that things are getting a little better.
Well, it's 2 things. Like, you know, when you think about last night's ball game, for 4 innings. What was it? 5 innings, right? Only one hit was allowed. And then Walker had trouble getting out of the 6th. Didn't have his best stuff by any means, but he still was very competitive. But it's another one of those games where the Cardinals got their 2 runs by the 4th inning, and then just 2 more hits the rest of the way. I know their relievers are tough, but this is too good of a hitting ball club to get shut down like that.
1-2 to Daniel. 2-2. John Jay trying to get as big a lead as possible. Laurie not able to hold him as close with the left-handed hitting Descalzo at the plate. He's playing that shallow right field that we've been talking about.
And he's going to take one to left field here.
The 2-2. Swing and a miss. Stroman strikes out the side. game. You can tweet your photos to STL Fan Photo, a chance to be shown in an upcoming game broadcast brought to you by AT&T. A sprinkling of Cardinal fans on hand here at the Rogers Center in Toronto, Canada. 33,528 paid crowd here in our Chevy call to the bullpen. The right-hander, Seth Maness.
Seth appearing for the 23rd time, 2-2 record, 2.81 ERA. Opponents are batting .333 against him. That's coming down. Has induced 4 double plays after being the best in the National League and inducing double plays a year ago for the Redbirds.
Facing Anthony Gose. It's 9th in the order for the Blue Jays, and then the top of the order will be Reyes and Cabrera. Gose here really like an extra leadoff hitter in that 9th spot. Runs very well. I don't know about you, Al, but when we landed and got in about 4 in the morning, I was a little concerned because the temperature here in Toronto was 13 degrees and I didn't bring any coats. Were you concerned at all?
No, I was not, because my body told me it was nice and comfortable, as it wasn't 13 degrees
Fahrenheit.
Fahrenheit.
Actually, a very comfortable 68 tonight, I'm told. So no need
Celsius,
for concern.
and not talking Celsius. Seth really had a tough spring, couldn't get his sinker down, but as the season's gone along, he's gotten better and better.
Appears that he's getting the ball down better, and the changeup too, I think, is a pitch that's eluded him a bit. I don't know that he's used it as successfully as he did a year ago. A lot of the ground ball double plays, Al, that he got were on that changeup.
You know, I remember talking with Dave Duncan one time, talking about another pitcher.
Up the middle, through the wickets.
But we were talking about another pitcher who was a sinker ball pitcher, and I said, he's got such a great sinker, why didn't he throw it every pitch? He goes, well, that and the changeup to get it you off the sinker and right through the legs right there. Seth, usually, like most guys that are sinker ball pitchers, are pretty good at fielding their position.
You almost have to be, don't you?
You really do. Because you don't strike out that many. A lot of balls come back at you, so you become that 5th infielder. And that one just got through.
Maness in relief of Lance Lynn, who went 5.
There's a lot of things you can say about Lance, but the one thing you can say about him is he kept his team in the game.
Exactly.
Threw a ton of pitches. Totally went against my Toyota key of not walking anybody and keeping the ball in the ballpark. He walked 4, but that didn't hurt him. The 2 solo home runs did.
It was still the key. He just went against it.
Yeah. And
so the Cardinals trailing 2-1. Big lead. There's a bunt down the third base line. Fouled it off, and goes 3 out of 4 in stolen bases. Reyes can handle the bat, so tough situation here for Seth Maness. You would think a very difficult duo to double up. Reyes has been on base all 3 times, a walk, and a single. Line drive, base hit to center. Now been on base 4 times. Gose rounds hard but stays at second, so 2 straight hits, both of them hit hard to start the Blue Jays 6th.
You see the good movement, but really just at the bottom of the strike zone. So you really want that sinker to be diving much lower than that, and when they pound it in the dirt. I'm a little surprised that Gose didn't really try to steal. I'm a little surprised he didn't try to go first to third. John Jay did get him up with that ball quickly.
Ground ball to third, and then Carpenter boots it. He wanted so hard to get a double play, and the Cardinals do not get an out.
That ball had a lot of English coming off the bat of a left-hander. Watch this ball. Look at how it turns like that. So when he's going, because in his mind he's going to catch that ball, he's going to step on third, then throw to first, get a double play. But with that English on it, it just gets him on the backhand and kicks away from him for his 7th error. And a long string in between the 6th there and the 7th error for Matt Carpenter.
You're right. It's been a while. Things just got tougher for Seth Maness and the Cardinals. Bases loaded, nobody out in the 6th, and Jose Bautista at the plate.
Thanks earlier. What was it? 11 games the Cardinals have played on the road without committing an error. And they got 2 tonight.
Don't want to be up there. 1-0. Two and 0. Scary pitch to throw here. Bases loaded for the Blue Jays. 2-0 on Bautista. Line drive right to the second baseman. He's got it. Flips to second. Is this a triple play? You bet it is. The Cardinals with a triple play. Here in the 6th inning, Descalzo gets the line drive, flips to second, and on to first.
They're going to question this. Second base umpire never really signified that it was a catch.
You can't review a trap in the infield. I think this is going to be a triple play. John Gibbons out talking about it, trying to get an explanation.
They're going to review it. See, the umpire is down and trying to look back and see what.
You can review a trap play in the outfield, but not in the infield. And what the umpires are talking about befuddles me. The ruling was he caught it, turned into a triple play. Unless somebody saw it differently. And it is indeed a triple play. John Gibbons doesn't like it. Cardinal fans love it. I don't think I've ever seen one. And we did here in Toronto. The Blue Jays by a run, and the Cardinals have just pulled their first triple play since 2005, Al, and here it is.
Well, it's a line drive, looking right out there, but he juggles it. Descalzo juggles it, but then he catches it, showed it to the umpire, and then they complete and double off the runner at second and first base to complete the triple play.
That was fun. I do not believe I've ever seen a triple play.
I've seen a couple of them, but I like that one. That's the last one I can really remember. And this crowd here is still stunned. They're trying to figure out what happened.
How did that happen? Let's hope the Blue Jays players are stunned, and certainly some life to the Cardinals. And Seth Maness, who was pitching with the bases loaded and behind Jose Bautista when it happened. And he turned 3.
I knew Bautista couldn't hit in the clutch.
Yeah. Stroman wanted that one at 93. 1-2 the count on Tony Cruz. Cruz and then the top of the order for the Cardinals, who are running out of chances. That curveball is nasty. It's halfway between a slider and a curve. He throws it very hard, and it has sharp break, and it's his best pitch.
The velocity of a slider, but he calls it a curve.
We'll just call it nasty. Ground ball left side, going to be a tough play. Off balance throw, and he's safe. Reyes deep in the hole, could not throw out Tony Cruz.
He still possesses a good arm and made that a lot closer. Twice Tony Cruz has hustled down the line and safe at first base. Fields it all the way on the outfield grass, spins and throws on the line, and it's a little tardy as Cruz hustling down, and it looks like we're having a pitching change.
I, for one, am glad Stroman is out. Stroman out. Brett Cecil in. Nice round of applause for the rookie right-hander. Through. He's responsible for the runner at first base. Friday, June 13th, 25,000 fans 16 and older will have the opportunity to bring home a piece of Busch Stadium with a unique canvas print that replicates the retired numbers mural in left field. Get your tickets for the June 13th Cardinals Nationals game at cardinals.com/promotions. Our Chevy called to the bullpen, the left-hander Brett Cecil.
I see his numbers. He's 0-3 on the year. Does have 3 saves. Been with Toronto ever since he signed with them back in the first round supplemental, 38th overall pick of the 2007 first-year player draft. First came up to the big leagues in 2009 and been back and forth. Stuck the last couple of years.
Facing the two lefties atop the Cardinals order, Carpenter and then Taveras. They say that Carpenter did not swing at that delivery, so 1-1 the count to Matt. Cecil leads the American League with 13 holds. And that's what he's trying to do here. Cruise the runner at first. Beat out an infield hit. That's hit number 7 for the Cardinals.
Cecil's listed at 6'3", 220. Much taller and bigger than that.
Two and one. Began his career as a starting pitcher, won 15 games for the Blue Jays in 2010. But it's found a home in the bullpen.
Yeah, 15-7. Had one major league save prior to this year and 3 this year.
The 2-1 to Matt. Check swing again, and it's inside for a ball. Again, very patient approach from Matt Carpenter. Blue Jays do not have the same kind of a bullpen at the back end that the Kansas City Royals do. They're good, but they're not as good as the Royals. Pitch called correctly.
Yeah, and Cecil actually is giving up higher batting average to left-hand hitters than right.
And a walk. So Cecil, who's pitched better on the road than he has at home, and I mean much better. About a 4.5 run difference between home and on the road. Walks his first guy. And that'll bring out Pete Walker, who's the pitching coach for the Blue Jays. Not what he wanted to see out of his first reliever in here today.
On the road, Cecil has a 154 ERA and limited batters to a 156 average. But at home, it goes way up to 6.10. And the opposition is hitting 333 off him.
Golden opportunity for the Cardinals here. Oscar Taveras, who is hitting left-handers at a 344 clip in AAA before his recall from Memphis. Star of the Cardinals' future and perhaps the very near future. Mike Matheny saying he thinks he's about ready to break out. How about right now?
Kind of
big swing.
Been treading water. You know, he's just right at that 200 average, getting one hit a game type thing. But I think once you see him have one of those breakout games, maybe he'll take off from there.
Well, Mike made a good point about him to us today. He said he doesn't really ever look overmatched, though. I mean, that's one thing about this young guy is even that last swing there.
And he's got a pretty good eye of the strike zone.
Good breaker from Cecil, 0-2.
We've seen him take pitches that are just off the plate, not swinging. You know, he's got doesn't swing at many pitches that are balls. Waiting for a pitch in the zone.
Adam Lind was expecting bunt on the first pitch to Taveras, and he is so happy that he didn't get around on that fastball and pull it down the first baseline. That would have been scary. The ball really jumps off of Oscar's bat.
In 5 years, they finally figured out how to do the wave.
The 0-2. Fly ball left field, shallow left. In comes Cabrera towards the line, and he's got it. You would think that would be it for Cecil.
I mentioned that Cecil has had left-handed hitters 278, right-handers 216, but they're going to make a change.
And we'll see a right-hander for those guys.
Eight starts this year and 6 previous relief appearances. As a reliever since 2013, Dustin has posted a 2.12 ERA. In his 8 relief appearances this season, he's limited the opposition to a 143 average, allowing just 1 earned run.
He'll face Holiday and then Craig for the Cardinals. McGowan is a type 1 diabetic, Al, and he struggled with his stamina, getting the right blood sugar issues straight. And he's had issues with it spiking during games. It's something he's had to deal with, obviously, as a professional athlete, and give him credit for working through that. And he's got a tight situation here with Holiday, who's been on base all 3 times.
You know, reminds us of our old friend Ron Santo, and we sure miss Santo, but
I agree.
Santo, a diabetic, and he kept that away from people in baseball. You know, he was a childhood diabetic, and he feared that if that would have become public, you know, that they would ban him from baseball.
Hard hit, but foul down the right field line, home run distance. Gowan's got a good fastball here, Al. High 90s.
Well, in 2007, he was a 12-game winner as a starter.
Ground ball right side. Laurie to second for 1, and that's all they're going to get. Ball not hit hard enough by Holiday to turn 2. That brings Cruz to third base, and Holiday aboard, so it'll be up to Alan Craig.
Alan's getting closer and closer.
Yes, he is.
Being the hitter he was with runners in scoring position. In the last 2 years, he led major leagues in those departments. And there really wasn't much difference between 2 outs and less than 2 outs. He was over 400 in both departments.
Had 2 base hits to the right side. First inning and third inning. Then he struck out in the 5th. RBI opportunity here. Ground ball left side. Francisco has it on 2 hops. And a sure throw across the diamond to get Craig. Blue Jays bullpen helps out their starter. They lead by 1. Time to stretch. Toronto, Lance Lynn started for the Cardinals, went 5 innings, a lot of pitches for Lance. He walked 4, struck out 6. Alan Craig, a couple of base hits. Marcus Stroman, 6 solid innings for the Blue Jays. Home run by Batista and later by Laurie, the difference in this game. And we also have seen a triple play tonight. How about that? The Cardinals turned a triple play, and now they turn to their left-handed veteran reliever, our Chevy call to the bullpen, Randy Choate.
And he hadn't pitched since the 2nd of June. So good time to bring him in here. Left-handed hitters. Overall, all hitters are hitting .250 against him, but lefties 4 for 34.
They'll have the left-hander Lynn, then Encarnacion in the middle, then Juan Francisco hits from the left side.
Jason Mott warming up behind Choate.
Good sweeping breaking ball for strike 1.
That's the whole key. He has that pitch right there working for him. And spots his fastball. Times he's gotten hurt. That slider's been real flat. Stays in the middle of the plate. Even if you miss like that. Aren't going to get hurt.
We've had 19 runners left on base in this game. The Blue Jays certainly have some offensive frustration. They hit into a triple play. They're 0 for 8 in risk here today, are the Blue Jays.
And that's it. This story of this game is missed opportunities, both sides. Cardinals are stranded 9. The Blue Jays 10.
Cardinals still looking for that big hit, aren't they? That right recipe for the offense.
Yeah. Committed 2 errors, but neither have hurt them.
Two and 2. Pretty good swing there. Lind has just 3 home runs hitting in the middle of this lineup of guys that have 10 or more. We should mention that the Blue Jays have another player that almost has 10 home runs. The guy on the disabled list,
yeah,
Colby Rasmus.
He's got 9.
Five players with 10 or more home runs on the 6th of June.
Cardinals don't have any.
Watch out. The last time a team had that many players on this date with 10 home runs was the 2002 Yankees. And nobody in the history of the game had 6 players on this date with 10 home runs. The Blue Jays, oh so close. Just wonder how good this team can be, Al.
They're playing extremely well. They're backing it up.
And that's not how Randy Choate wanted to start the bottom of the 7th. A leadoff walk to the left-hander Adam Lind. Toronto has played so well lately. You mentioned their numbers. They've won 17 out of their last 20 games. And they have swept some very good teams lately, including Oakland and Detroit.
Detroit.
4 of their last 5 series have been sweeps. Cardinals catching them at a bad time.
Their last 7 series, they've won 6 and tied 1. Catching a good ball club that's going in the right direction, but
ground ball left side and just foul. But you know, as we were talking about Tampa Bay, the way the game is, Al, you're going to Tampa Bay, and even though they've lost 10 straight, you think, now wait a minute, they're better than that. And I would bet the Blue Jays would be thinking that about the Cardinals. John Gibbons knows how good this Cardinal team is.
I don't think there's any doubt about that. Not going to take the Cardinals lightly. Especially when you're sitting at home in October and you're watching the Cardinals play on television.
Looks like that 0 for 10 with runners in scoring position has given John Gibbons a headache. Ground ball left side. Peralta, Descalzo, Craig. 6-4-3 double play. Well turned. And a good pitch from Choate.
Randy, when it came here, was going to just retire left-handed batters, but he's had his role expanded, and now you'll see him get these right-handed hitters out.
Pinch hitter is announced for the Blue Jays. That's Steve Tollison.
And then with Mott warming up, we'll have a pitching change.
So Choate got the double play he needed. We're going to see Jason Mott again, former Cardinals closer, who just seems to be getting better and better. All to the bullpen.
Good ERA, 1.35. Opponents are just batting .261 against him. And remember, Jason missed all last season, recovering from Tommy John. And the year before that, he was tied for first in the National League with 42 saves. Trying to get back there, trying to do anything he can to help out this bullpen staff. And we'll see where things lie in the future when we get back to the closer's role. Will Martinez with Rosenthal, those guys eventually get to the starting rotation.
You want to build towards that as the season unfolds, Al, right? And have them sharp come September. And hopefully October. Mott has been using his cutter a little bit more. That pitch at 88 miles an hour, 1-0.
Well, Mott's going to find out, velocity is the last thing that'll come back to Tommy John. But he's finding out that he's becoming a better pitcher. Pitching with less velocity. And he's pretty happy with the way that cutter is working for him.
Results have been good. Although Cruz saw something he didn't like about that particular pitch, and he's out to talk to Jason Mott. Pretty free swing there by Steve Tollefson.
It was also looked like that Mott called Cruz out. So maybe Jason might have saw something where he was standing in the batter's box.
Could be.
Vice versa.
Steve Tollefson, son of a major league player, Wayne Tollefson. Another foul back. Good cut again. Cardinals have kept this close tonight. Lance Lynn bent a couple of times, but despite the 6 hits and 4 walks and 2 home runs, gave up only 2 runs in his 5 innings of work. And the Cardinals in this game, been a very entertaining game, complete with a triple play and a swing and a miss on the cutter. Mott gets his man. Cardinals with 2 more chances. Molina when we come back. There was a big finish today at Wrigley Field. Pat Paris has that with this Bomarito Sports Update. Pat. Thanks, Pat. Cubs treading water too. Al, in the National League Central Division, there's some changes for the Blue Jays. Tollefson stays in the game to play second, and Laurie goes to third, his natural position. And first ball swinging is Yadier Molina against the reliever Dustin McCowan.
Yeah, the Cubs now are 24-34. That's the same record that Philadelphia had at the start of the game. So they're Starting to make some improvement.
Looking ahead, the closer for the Blue Jays is Casey Janssen, who is a guy that is not your classic overpowering closer. He's just a good pitcher, but they're using him in that spot, and he's done a nice job. He has 10 saves on the season. You also look at this team, and you know he's got plenty of chances too, with all the wins they have.
Well, and all the runs they score. You know, they figure they can outscore most clubs.
Popped up. Mile high in the infield. Reyes has it. You mentioned it earlier, Al. The Cardinals were only retired 1, 2, 3 once in the first 7 innings. That was in the 4th. They've stranded 9 runners. Just have not come up with that big hit yet. Up the middle, handled by Reyes. He was playing John Jay perfectly. Two outs in the Cardinals' 8th. And let's look at Jose Bautista's at bat. This was our Nissan drive of the game. And Al, it came in the 3rd inning, and Bautista, no doubter, and he's getting used to doing this.
Yeah, and you know, you saw Lance Lynn early in the game was busting him in. Now when he got his arms extended.
The Blue Jays power the difference here tonight. 2 solo home runs. Peralta has home run capabilities, but he waves at that one.
Ricky, I think once again we talk about if the Cardinal offense is as good as we think it is, you should be able to overcome 2 solo home runs.
Peralta didn't like this call. Is it a strike?
That's breaking ball. Just kind of backs up a little bit at the top of the strike zone. Cardinals lose 3-2 last night. Right now, they're scoring 3 runs or less. The Cardinals are 5-20.
The 2-2. 3-2 now to Peralta. Fun to see a triple play, Al, but I'd rather see a Cardinal win. Off the end of the bat. Peralta retired. The second 1-2-3 inning of the night. 2-1 Toronto. Bud Light reminds fans to stay in the game and drink responsibly, and by Ford, the official cars and trucks of the St. Louis Cardinals. Skyline of Toronto, 2-1 Blue Jays. Bottom of the 8th, Jason Mott back out for his first full inning, and it's strike one to Brett Lawrie, who has been quite a player here tonight. His home run, the difference in this game.
But you really took note of his defense early in this ball game, playing a very unusual, very deep second base.
Maybe robbed the Cardinals of a run, and by the way, his 11 home runs ties a career high, and it's June 6th. He had 11 last year, 11 the year before, and 11 already.
And he hit 2 in the last 2 games.
And he smoked that ball up the middle. This guy can play. Would you like a great deal on Cardinals tickets? We suggest you fill up at Phillips 66 with 8 gallons or more now until September 19th and receive up to 50% off on a pair of tickets to a Cardinals home game. You can get more information at cardinals.com/Phillips66. Looking ahead, the Cardinals will have 8, 9, and 1 in the top of the 9th inning. Descalso, Cruz, and the top of the order in Matt Carpenter.
And they'll do it against their closer.
On the Cardinals bench, they have Colton Wong, who we think probably is not available to hit today, from the left side. And on the right side, you have Mark Ellis, Peter Borges, and Randall Grichuk. And you wonder what Mike Matheny might do with those guys. But you have the left-handers up. Casey Janssen, the closer, is right-handed, so perhaps he'll stay as is.
Ricky, left-handed batters are nearly 100 points better than the right-handed batters, but neither one of them doing very well. 125 average for righties, 217 for lefties.
Swing and a miss. Cardinals hoping for a double play here, which should seem easy. They already have a triple play. A double play should be a piece of cake.
Triple play in the 6th, double play in the 7th. Looking for another double play in the 8th. Why not? That's it on the ground. You got a good shot.
Mott tried to sneak in the back door there with that little cutter. Doesn't get the call. He is the 4th Cardinal pitcher of the night. Lance Lynn went 5. Seth Maness on the mound when that triple play was pulled, and then Randy Choate came on in the 7th. Jason Mott finished the 7th, and now he's working here in the 8th. Cruz flashes the signs for Jason Mott. He misses outside. That pitch at 95.
Yeah, I just noticed that too. I'm sure we'll go up a couple ticks a month, but I still think when he gets his velocity back, he's going to remember how effective that cutter is, and be even more effective using multiple pitches.
3-2 hit on the ground, right side, past Craig. Runner was moving, and the Blue Jays will have runners at the corners with nobody out here in the 8th inning.
Well, they started the runner, and if that ball would have been hit right at somebody, Cardinals had a chance to get a double play, but Laurie off and running. Ball wide of Alan Craig. And here you see the pitch. It's up. Tomahawks it and pulls it through the right side. Cardinals need another little bit of magic.
Pinch runner for the Blue Jays. Navarro gets his first hit. That is Kevin Pillar, who's an outfielder.
And they can pull the catcher when you carry 3.
Exactly. So a conversation on the mound here, and this is all players talking right here. How are we going to play this? Want to make sure everybody knows what plan A is.
Saw Martinez warming up in the bullpen. Pitched 2 innings last night, but that's the beauty of having a guy like Martinez. He can bounce back night after night.
Anthony goes. Cardinals with the infield in. You wouldn't think they'd be talking about a squeeze defensively, Al, with nobody out.
No, and left-handed batter, but you know what we're going to try and do in the bunt plays. Doesn't hurt to get together and just figure out what the strategy is.
So far, I like the strategy. 0-2.
Keep the bat on your shoulder. Either team very proud of what they've done with runners in scoring position.
Jason Mott trying to keep this game close. The 0-2. This is high. Let's see now. How can we get a triple play here? Two and two. Cardinals have to cut this run off at the plate. You mentioned infielders are in. 2-2 the count. The pitch. Swing and a miss. He got it. That could be a very big pitch in this ball game as Jason Mott blows it past Anthony Gose.
I see Cruz wanted it in, and that ball ran all the way away, but it's the second strikeout, and that's what he needed. 1 out now. You got the double play in order.
Tough guy to double up in Jose Reyes. They have a pinch runner at first in Kevin Pillar, who's going to try to get down to second as fast as he can anyway to break it up. So the Cardinals again with the infield in.
Reyes has hit into 2 double plays.
And he is having quite a night offensively. He's walked twice. And he has 2 base hits. He's a much better hitter in my mind from the left side. Numbers bear that out this year. About 50 points higher from the left side. And the pitch. Back door is closed.
I always worry a little bit on a pitch like that with a slap hitter. Just slap down on that ball and hit it through the left side of the infield. Our line drive out to left.
You like the thought of that cutter in pop up, don't you?
More in.
Setting up away and missing away is Jason Mott. 2-1. Mott with a big strikeout of Gose There's him trying to slap the ball the other way, just as you mentioned. Exactly what he was trying to do, and now Tony Cruz is going to have another conversation with Jason Mott.
You might want to talk about that because you really got Carpenter's kind of holding the runner on the third. You know, he's in that cutout area, keeping him close. Peralta's pretty much up the middle, so a lot of hitting room to the left side. You throw that ball out there, this is an accomplished hitter that could slap it to the vacated area.
We saw what Tony Cruz just did there, but he sprinted back behind home plate. I actually like that. When you got a pitcher that's working quickly, you realize he likes his pace right now. You don't want to take him out of that. So already ready to go is Mott, and the pitch high and away. 96.
So he's feeling it.
This is velocity we have not seen from Jason Mott.
It's been more like 92, 93. So started getting up that 95, 96. And as we said, as the season goes along, we'll probably pick up a couple miles an hour a month.
The 3-2, big pitch here. Slap foul. The runner was going.
One thing about Jason, he's always had pretty good control. As hard as he throws and as wild as some of his pitches are, you can really zero it down in the strike zone.
Cardinals not playing for the double play. Is it really necessary for the Blue Jays to be running? They're doing it again. 3-2 is lined into right field for a base hit. One run will score. Runners at the corners again. Reyes is 3 for 3, and Toronto leads 3-1.
Now they're going to run right there with the infield in. So just in case this is what happened, you can go first to third on a base hit. And Mike Matheny's out there, so Carlos Martinez will be coming in.
Mott's fastball with a little more velocity. Unfortunately, the Blue Jays pick up another run. In comes Carlos. Is presented by the authority of the St. Louis Cardinals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals. Chevy called to the bullpen. Pitcher number 5 tonight for the Cardinals is Carlos Martinez.
Carlos 0-3, 4.41 ERA. This is, see, the lefties have been troublesome for him. 320 average and 2 home runs. Pitched yesterday, a couple innings, and just had a walk.
facing Melky Cabrera. First pitch low and away for a ball at 97. Cardinals again with the infield in. Descalzo talking to Oquendo right now, trying to see whether he should take a step back or not. In case the ball's hit hard to Peralta, maybe go for two. There goes the runner, and the throw not to second base as Cruz fakes the throw but does not fool the pinch runner Pilar at third.
Well, steal for Reyes.
What you're trying to do is get that guy off the bag at third. Allen didn't work. The 1-1. Grounded to the right side. Descalzo comes home, and they get him. Nice play by Daniel Descalzo. Very confidently and with a strong arm nails Pilar at the plate.
High bouncer here, but nice play. Tony gets it, gives him a lane, steps to his left once he has the ball, and applies the tag. Very good look at it right there. Reyes goes on to third, but the Cardinals get the second out of the inning. Got to make up your mind, and you know, ball hit to you, that's what you're going to do.
That could prove to be a big play. Deep left field line towards the corner, and foul. Not by much.
Turned on that pitch, up over the plate, got his arms extended, but couldn't keep it fair. Home run distance, but just a loud strike.
That's the task for Carlos Martinez right now. Jose Bautista. Ground ball left side. Carpenter has it on to second. And the force out there. Defense helps out the Cardinals. Keeps it close. Last chance coming up. About here in the ninth inning. Casey Jansen is the Chevy called with the bullpen. He's been the closer for the Blue Jays the last couple of years. First pitch fouled off.
He missed the first 37 games of the year with injury, so he's got 10 saves, only his 12th appearance. Did have his 24 consecutive converted saves snapped. That was on May 29th versus Kansas City. But over the last couple of years, 44 saves and 47 opportunities.
And he has the ninth. The 0-2. Curveball low. Couple of changes for Toronto. Eric Kratz is the catcher. Former Philly, and Pilar stays in the game to play left field. Swing and a miss. A little late on that swing was Daniel Descalzo, and now Tony Cruz. Cardinals trailing by 2.
Jansen very fidgety. Ricky, I don't know what this says about you, but Whitey Herzog always wanted to put guys that were hyper in relief, and he was instrumental in my and how I got to relief, you know, because I played for him in an instructional league one year when he's running the Mets. And he told Bing to buy, and he says, I think he'd be a good reliever. And Bing said, no, we'd see him as a starter. And he said, no, he's too hyper.
Jeff Lottie comes to mind.
Lottie.
I think what it says about me is he put me out there with all the hyper guys to keep him normal.
I don't like that way. That's thinking my way.
0-2 on Tony Cruz. Cardinals need a base runner. I think your point is a great point. You can't keep up this kind of fidgety thing for 7 innings if you're a starter. You'd wear yourself out, wouldn't you?
Well, you would think so. Had 34 saves last year.
Down the right field line, drifting towards the stands, but dropped right near the first row.
Batista's trying to claim that fan interference, but if a fan doesn't reach over, they can do whatever they want. And young man with a glove.
And you'd say he did reach over.
Yeah.
And John Gibbons said he did reach over, and he wants a little bit more of an explanation here. Batista's saying, I could have caught that ball. He put up a little mild protest with Field and Culbreth. And Gibbons wants him to at least talk about it.
I don't think we want to look.
We don't want to look at this again, do we? There's the young man in the red.
Which I think it's only natural. What's a natural instinct for a young man or a fan out there? They're going to review it. I couldn't really see where the ball, how deep it was, but they kind of locked gloves.
It'd be hard pressed to say that there was not some kind of interference going on with that. Now, I guess you can assume he would have caught the ball. That's the ruling that they're at least considering right now, that he would have caught it.
Got it on the big board right there.
You know what the fans think here, and boy, I hate that young man getting booed right now.
Yeah. And of course he's wearing red, so I think he's got a Blue Jay hat on, but I mean, what's a fan going to do? It's a natural instinct.
100% agree.
You have those, you know, someplace you have the fence 2-3 feet high. You know, they're always going to reach over.
So the Blue Jays are challenging the call on the field. They're wanting it to be more than just a foul ball and a strike to Tony Cruz.
Wanted to catch.
They want it to be an out. And that's what the umpires are listening for. Is it a strike or is it an out? Being reviewed right now in New York. Former umpires who know the rules, know the situations, are looking at every angle.
Well, we're going to get a decision.
Blue Jays fans are thankful.
Now the young man's a hero. And you know, Mike's
saying he didn't touch the ball anyway.
But give Batista credit, because he immediately went to the umpire and pleaded his case.
Cardinals not sure that call was right, but it stands as an out with the overturned call successfully. Cardinals down to their last out. Matt Carpenter. Strike one. I think that review has energized the crowd here at Rogers Center. So has Jansen, trying to lock up save number 11 to Carpenter. Our player of the game brought to you by Budweiser, Marcus Stroman. 6 solid innings, 1 earned run, 7 strikeouts. 1-2. Swing and a miss, or did he tip it? He did. We will do it again. Carpenter just barely staying alive. He's walked twice, lined out, and flew out to left. He scored the only Cardinal run that came in the first. 1-2.
Eight Cardinals in a row have been retired. Carpenter's not going easily. Never does he?
Battling.
Bats. We talked about grinding out at bats, and Matt Carpenter 2 walks today. Nice at bat here, trying to keep this game alive.
The 2-2. Fly ball, left center field. Pilar has it. And the Blue Jays have taken game 1 here at the Rogers Center. Behind very good starting pitching and a couple of long balls, Al.
Well, you don't like the way the Cardinal offense is going right now. 2 runs last night, 1 run today, and now they have to face the 10-1 Burley tomorrow. Hopefully Cardinals will get their rest and bring out the bats tomorrow night. Tomorrow day.
Blue Jays, known for the home runs, win it with 2 of them. Postgame coming up next.